Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is the second part of Hachishakusama, scary chat stories, and this is part 2, like I said, and we'll be continue where we left off. Last time we left off at No, I Gasped. If you don't remember what happened, I suggest you go watch the first video, that way you understand what the hell is going on. And I'll leave that link in the description, but for now, let's get back. So I will continue after the line on No, I Gasped. Right now, they're in the van, and it's going super slow, and Hachishakusama is trying to look down into the window and the boy so he can die in a few days. And technically it's just like a Japanese urban legend and stuff, so let's get started. The man beside me shouted, "Close your eyes!" I immediately shut my eyes as hard as I could, and I tightened my grip on the piece of paper of the piece of parchment. Then the tapping began again. The voice became louder. Po, 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 po. Let's just move it down here. There was tapping on the windows all around us. All the men in the van were startled and on the edge, muttering nervously to themselves. They couldn't see 8 feet tall, and they couldn't hear her voice, but they could hear her tapping on the windows. Kaysen started praying louder and louder until she was almost shouting. The tension inside the van was unbearable. After a while, Kaysen stopped and the voice disappeared. Kaysen looked back at us and said, "I think we're safe now." All the men around me breathed a sigh of relief. The van pulled over to the side of the road and the men got out. They transferred me into my dad's car. My mother held me close and tears were running down her cheeks. Grandpa and my father bowed down to the men, and they went on their way. Kaysen came to the window and asked me to show the pigs and parchment she had given me. When I opened my hand, I saw the head gone completely black. "I think you will be okay now," she said. Just to be sure, hold on to this for a while she handed me a new piece of parchment. After that, we drove straight to the airport, and Grandpa saw us safely on the plane. When we took off, my parents breathed a sigh of relief. My grandfather told me he had heard about 8 feet tall before. Years ago, his friend had been liked by her. The boy disappeared and was never seen again. My father said there were other people who had been liked by her and lived to tell about it. They all had to leave Japan and settle down in foreign countries. They were never able to go to their homeland. She always chooses children as her victims. They say it's because children are dependent on their parents and family members. This makes them easier to deceive when she poses as their relatives. He said the men in the van were all blood relatives of mine, and that's why they had been sitting all around me, and why my father and Grandpa had been driving in the front and back. It was all done to try and confuse Hachishakusama. It took a while to contact everyone and get them all together, so that's why I had to be confined in a room all night. He told me that one of their little Jesus statues, the one that were meant to keep her trapped, had been broken, and that was how she escaped. It gave me the chills. I was glad when we finally got back home. All of this happened more than 10 years ago. I haven't seen my grandparents since then. I haven't been able to set much as a foot in the country. Afterwards, I will call them every few weeks and talk to them on the phone. Over the years, I tried to convince myself it was just an urban legend and that everything that happened was an elaborate prank. Sometimes, I'm not so sure. My grandfather died 2 years ago when he was sick. He wouldn't allow me to visit him and left strict instructions in his will that I wasn't to attend his funeral. It was all very sad. My grandmother called a few days ago. She said I'd been diagnosed with cancer. She missed me terribly and wanted to see me one last time before she died. Are you sure, Grandma? I asked. Is it safe? It's been 10 years now, she said. All that happened a long time ago. It's all forgotten. You're all grown up now. I'm sure there won't be a problem. But what about Hachishakusama? I said. For a moment, there was a silence on the other end of the phone. Then I heard a deep, masculine voice saying, "Pull, pull, 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 pull." The end. Wow. Just wow. Okay, let's see. Aniba, this story lit as AF LMAO. Horror Fangirl says, I read this story so many times it just gave me chills. I love it. I read this story over 2 years ago. I read it again. It's only one of the top 15 scary stories I've ever read. Top 15 may sound like nothing unless you consider how many books and stories I've actually read in my entire 15 years of living. 10/10. Pause. I'm glad he's still alive, and he was a sensible boy. Slenderman meet up on site. Use a few top home. Damn, mommy, you fine. How much you? Oh my god, this is a story. Well, I love it. So creepy. And hey, Ninja Panda, I couldn't stop thinking about the same thing. WTF, amazing. Give me the chills the whole time. 10 out of 10 parchments. Wow, they didn't give me goosebumps. This is a perfect example of a fine story writing. The tension is kept through the entire story. Just brilliant. Never get bored no matter how many times I read it. Wow, okay. Anyway, that's it for now. And as always, bye and see you next time. And keep watch throughout that Hachishakusama if you ever go to Japan. And if you die, make a note the day before you die to invite me to your funeral. Because if you die, I'm pretty much just going to come to your funeral. Because if I lose one of my subscribers, God is losing one of his childs. Anyway, bye guys. See you next time. Love y'all.